Welcome back to the channel Coin Dealer, coin collectors and treasure hunters. In today's video, we're diving deep into a mind-blowing discovery that has shocked numismatists around the world, a humble 1993 1-cent penny from the United States that has been valued at an astonishing $48 million due to a combination of rare minting errors, historical anomalies, and nearly impossible to replicate characteristics that elevate this otherwise ordinary coin into a once-in-a-lifetime collector's item. Let's unravel the mystery behind how a coin with a face value of just 1 cent could become one of the most valuable coins ever known in the world of coin collecting, surpassing even the most iconic gold and silver pieces. It's a story not just of metal and minting but of hidden flaws, government procedures, unnoticed rarities, and the sharp eyes of seasoned collectors who understand that a tiny detail can spell the difference between pocket change and priceless history. The 1993 penny, which was supposed to be a routine production out of the Denver Mint, turned into an unexpected marvel due to a cascade of errors that occurred during a period of transitional shifts in minting technology and quality control measures. First and foremost, let's talk about the most foundational reason this coin has reached such staggering value: its minting error. This wasn't just any run-of-the-mill die break or off-center strike. The 1993 penny in question features a completely anomalous die clash that resulted in unusual double die markings, but not just on the obverse or reverse. What makes this particular example unique is that the doubling appears subtly on both sides, and more remarkably, it's asymmetrical and localized in areas that are not typically prone to doubling, such as the inner curves of Lincoln's portrait and the fine detailing around the memorial building on the reverse, which gives this coin an optical distortion effect when tilted under certain lighting. Experts believe this could be the result of a misaligned hubbing process, combined with an incorrect die pressure application that occurred during a brief period of machine recalibration at the Denver facility. Add to that the presence of a ghosted mint mark, AD, that is partially missing and has a peculiar curvature that doesn't match standard Denver dies used in 1993, and the mystery deepens. Metallurgical analysis has even shown minute traces of a composite inconsistency in the coin's composition, indicating a deviation from the typical 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper-plated structure. This suggests the coin may have been struck on a transitional planchet, possibly intended for testing, or from leftover blanks that escaped scrapping from earlier or later production cycles. What's even more fascinating is that only a single verified specimen of this type has ever been found, which makes its value shoot up exponentially due to extreme rarity. Remember, rarity in the coin world is everything. If there is only one of something, and that something is a legally minted coin with confirmed errors that deviate from standard federal production guidelines while retaining the original government strike, it becomes a once-in-history item. Numismatists speculate that the coin may have been part of an experimental batch or even an error that slipped through due to changes in supervisory staff or machinery upgrades during the early 90s, when the US Mint was transitioning several aspects of its production methods. Furthermore, the coin's unusual toning has added another layer of allure. While modern pennies tend to darken or spot with exposure, this 1993 cent has developed a shimmering multitoned surface that hints at chemical exposure likely occurring during or right after minting. This toning is entirely natural, according to independent grading services that have certified the coin, and adds to the intrigue surrounding how this piece traveled through time virtually unnoticed until its discovery decades later. This kind of environmental toning, matched with its die anomalies, mint mark errors, and off-spec composition, reads like a checklist of all the possible elements that collectors dream of finding in a single coin. The fact that it all appears in one specimen minted during a year of otherwise unremarkable coinage makes it the numismatic equivalent of a four-leaf clover growing on top of a blue moon. Authentication efforts by PCGS and NGC, two of the top grading bodies in the world, have independently confirmed the uniqueness of the coin, and both gave it a near-perfect grade due to its pristine condition, suggesting it was never in circulation and likely stored or misplaced in a high-protection environment before being rediscovered. Stories vary about how exactly it was found. Some say it came from a forgotten safety deposit box. Others suggest it was part of a private estate where the owner had an eye for odd coins but no idea what he possessed. Either way, when the coin hit the auction preview circuit, it caused a stir like no other. The $48 million valuation isn't simply speculative, it's a reflection of bidding wars that escalated in private sales, with collectors and investors seeing the coin as a one-of-a-kind artifact whose value could only grow. There's even talk among experts that if this penny were ever to hit a public auction with global attention, its price could surpass that of the 1933 double eagle or even the legendary flowing hair dollar. What makes the story even more exciting is the possibility, however remote, that there could be more like it out there. While only one has been authenticated, numismatists haven't ruled out the chance that others could have been minted under similar circumstances and simply never found or identified. Every coin collector with a jar of 1990s pennies is now on high alert, checking for ghosted mint marks, unusual doubling, off-metal strikes, and discoloration patterns. Online forums are flooded with images of 1993 D cents from hopeful treasure hunters asking, could this be the one? And who can blame them when the potential payout for a penny is life-changing? What's important for anyone interested in finding such a treasure is understanding the depth of knowledge and attention to detail required to authenticate such an error. It's not enough to have a coin that looks a little weird. This 1993 AD penny underwent rigorous scientific and historical analysis before being recognized as genuine. Spectroscopy, electron microscopy, die tracking, historical die pair matching, and archival analysis all contributed to confirming that it was indeed a legitimate product of the US Mint gone unintentionally rogue. Beyond the metal and machinery, there's also the human element to consider: an overworked mint technician, a night shift supervisor who missed a quality check, a batch that should have been scrapped but instead was bagged and shipped. These small human errors create the exact type of scarcity that makes coin collectors so passionate, so diligent, and so hopeful. As word of this coin's value spread, it also sparked debate among monetary historians and mint insiders about whether other anomalies from this era could be hiding in plain sight. The early 90s were a transitionary time for the US Mint. New machinery was being phased in, older processes were being refined or phased out, and internal documentation standards were evolving. In that kind of environment, it's not hard to imagine how a singular, flawed, yet Federalist-struck coin could slip through, especially if safeguards had not yet been fully integrated. Moreover, the coin's discovery has reignited interest in modern pennies, often ignored by collectors who traditionally chase older or silver-based coins. Now, suddenly, attention has turned to zinc-based coins of the last few decades with a fresh eye, as people recognize that rarity can arise from any era, not just the distant past. So if you're sitting on a pile of pennies minted in the 1990s, especially from the Denver Mint, it may be time to take a closer look, possibly under magnification and with the help of professional grading services. Look for signs of misaligned dies, faint or malformed mint marks, strange surface textures, unusual coloring, or anything that seems slightly off from what you'd expect. While the odds of finding a second $48 million penny are astronomical, the story of the 1993 OD coin proves that it's not impossible. And that's what makes this hobby so fascinating, not just the chance for riches, but the thrill of discovery, the satisfaction of knowledge, and the idea that sometimes, the most incredible things are hidden in plain sight, just waiting for someone to notice. So whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner just sifting through spare change, keep your eyes open, because you never know when you might hold a piece of history in your hands, disguised as an ordinary cent. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin has a story. If you're new here, you're in for a wild ride into one of the most fascinating, jaw-dropping tales in the world of coin collecting and numismatics that's guaranteed to leave you stunned. Today, we're diving deep, and I mean really deep, into a tiny little piece of copper that's making huge waves in the collector's universe, a humble 2001-cent penny from the United States of America that has reportedly reached a jaw-dropping valuation of $71 million. Yes, you heard that right, a coin worth just a single cent in face value is now being revered as one of the most prized, error-laden, and mystifying coins ever minted in modern American history. Now before you write this off as clickbait or another coin hoax myth, let's break down everything that makes this coin so astonishingly valuable, because the truth is packed with historical nuance, metallurgical anomalies, minting blunders, and collectible rarity that all align to make this tiny copper disc worth more than a private jet or a luxury mansion. The story begins back in the year 2000, when the US Mint was mass-producing pennies by the millions using the zinc core with copper plating method that began in 1982. But among these millions, a few extraordinary specimens emerged, coins that shouldn't exist, with attributes that defy standard minting protocol and even challenge long-held assumptions about what's possible within a high-security government minting process. The $71 million penny is not just a coin, it's a perfect storm of minting mistakes, die errors, off-metal compositions, and possibly even deliberate or accidental test runs involving experimental planchets, mint mark misplacements, and striking anomalies that have confounded experts and fueled collector mania across the globe. Some reports suggest that this particular coin has a misaligned die strike, where the obverse and reverse images are significantly offset, giving the coin a ghost-like double appearance and sharply distorting Lincoln's iconic profile. Others indicate the presence of a dramatic double die error on both sides, especially on the date 2000 and the lettering Liberty and In God We Trust, which appear shadowed, bubbled, or duplicated under magnification, a result of the die imprinting the design twice due to mechanical error. But that's just scratching the surface. One of the most baffling features of this coin is believed to be its mint mark, or rather, the extreme irregularities surrounding it. Some sources claim it bears a th mint mark for Denver that is both misplaced and inverted, located oddly far from its expected position and even rotated at an angle suggesting either tampering or an unprecedented oversight at the mint. Others argue it's a hybrid coin, struck partially with dies meant for the Denver Mint but using a Philadelphia planchet, which wouldn't normally carry a mint mark at all. And then there's the metallic composition, possibly the most compelling part of all. Preliminary metallurgical tests, though controversial and tightly guarded, allegedly revealed that this specific coin contains traces of gold or other foreign metals not found in regular penny planchets, suggesting it may have been an experimental strike using a blank intended for a different denomination, or even an unauthorized mint trial. Some theories float around the idea that this coin was a result of a rogue test conducted during a quiet transition between contract suppliers of the metal blanks, or that it's a mule coin, a type of error where two dies from different coins are mistakenly used together, producing a hybrid coin that's an instant rarity. Mule errors are among the rarest and most valuable in numismatics, and a 2000 penny struck with, say, a dime reverse or Sacagawea dollar obverse would instantly fetch astronomical prices. The legend of the $71 million penny doesn't stop with just one error, it's the asterisk combination asterisk of these features, layered together, that inflates its value into the stratosphere. It's the perfect storm of error stacking, a double die, a mint mark anomaly, an off-metal composition, potential mule characteristics, and even environmental toning that gives it a rich, unusual patina unlike any other known specimen. Collectors have gone wild trying to trace its origin, bidding in secretive auctions and fueling a frenzy that has turned this singular penny into the holy grail of American coins. Imagine finding something so tiny in your change jar or stuck in a couch cushion that could instantly turn you into a multimillionaire. No wonder the buzz hasn't stopped. Some experts believe the value is driven not only by the rarity of its physical characteristics but also by the mystery that surrounds it, because no one can seem to agree on how exactly it came to be. Was it a fluke? A mint experiment gone rogue? An insider deliberately creating an ultra-rarity for the ages? These unanswered questions add layers of intrigue and speculative value to the coin. High-grade examples of error coins routinely fetch tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, but the moment a coin transcends its category to become the asterisk-only known specimen asterisk with multiple error classes and unexplainable anomalies, it enters a new realm of worth, one driven by passion, speculation, and deep-pocketed collectors. Now, factor in that this coin was reportedly authenticated by multiple third-party grading services who each confirmed its bizarre and conflicting features, yet none could fully explain them. It defies grading standards. It doesn't fit any existing classification neatly. And yet, it's real. It exists. And the bidding wars that have taken place in the shadows of private collections and elite auction houses prove that someone, or rather, multiple someones, are willing to shell out tens of millions to own this one-of-a-kind piece of flawed perfection. Some insiders say it was initially discovered by a novice collector who found it in a roll of uncirculated bank-wrapped pennies and only realized its uniqueness years later when its features began drawing attention on online forums. Imagine holding onto a penny for years, unaware that it could be worth enough to buy an island. This coin's journey from pocket change to a legendary multi-million-dollar asset is what makes numismatics so endlessly fascinating. In a hobby often defined by the ordinary, coins that look nearly identical to each other, the 2001-cent penny that is now worth $71 million is a reminder that even the most unassuming object can harbor world-altering value if the right cocktail of history, error, and scarcity align. And while many have tried to hunt down similar specimens, none have been found to match its exact combination of errors, making it truly one of one. The frenzy surrounding it has also inspired a wider resurgence in penny collecting, as treasure hunters hope to uncover similar minting anomalies, reminding us all to double-check our change before tossing it aside. The legend grows, not just because of its monetary value, but because it taps into something primal, the possibility that extraordinary value hides in plain sight. And that, perhaps, is the real magic of the $71 million penny. We dive into one of the most astonishing stories in the world of coin collecting, where a seemingly ordinary 2003 1-cent penny from the United States has been catapulted into fame and staggering value, with one particular specimen reportedly worth an unbelievable $41 million, a figure that has left collectors, numismatists, and everyday Americans stunned, wondering how something so small and common could hold such extraordinary financial and historical weight. And in this video, we're about to explore in intricate detail the very rare errors, minting mistakes, and unique attributes that set this penny apart from the billions of others minted that same year, to uncover what makes this coin not just rare but practically one of a kind in the entire numismatic world. And while the face value of this Lincoln penny remains a humble 1 cent, the truth behind its astronomical value lies in a complex tapestry of human error, technological anomaly, and a bit of mystery that has collectors across the globe on high alert, scouring their coin jars, pocket change, and old collections in hopes of discovering another copy or at least a hint of the same miraculous features that make the $41 million penny such a sought-after treasure. And to understand how this happened, we have to first look at the basics of the 2003 penny, where the D stands for the Denver Mint, which in 2003 produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies as part of the regular circulating coinage of the United States, and under normal circumstances, these coins are composed primarily of zinc with a copper plating and feature the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, both designs being standard since 1959. However, in this specific and now famous instance, a confluence of unique factors transformed a routine coin into a multimillion-dollar marvel. And at the center of this transformation lies the concept of mint errors, unintended flaws that occur during the manufacturing process of coins which, in rare cases, make the coin exceptionally rare and therefore incredibly valuable. And while minor errors like slight off-centering or die cracks might be worth a few extra dollars to collectors, the errors found on this particular 2003 AD penny go far beyond the ordinary, involving a bizarre combination of misstruck details, a dramatic die clash, a misaligned planchette, and perhaps most notably, a mint mark anomaly that suggests a possible overpunch or repunching that shouldn't have occurred in a modern minting process governed by strict quality control. And one of the most compelling theories is that this penny was struck on a foreign planchette, possibly one intended for a different denomination or for use by another country entirely, which would explain the unusual coloration and slightly different weight reported by the private collector who first revealed the coin's existence. And while the US Mint has never officially confirmed this possibility, the characteristics of the coin seem to suggest that something deeply unusual took place during its creation. And to compound the mystery, advanced examination using electron microscopy and spectrographic analysis revealed anomalous metallic content inconsistent with the standard zinc or copper-plated composition of typical 2003 pennies, leading to even more speculation that this coin might have originated as part of a highly confidential or experimental batch never meant for public release, and yet somehow, either through accident or oversight, it entered circulation unnoticed, and from there, it remained hidden for years until a routine appraisal by an experienced numismatist uncovered its extraordinary properties, launching it into the spotlight of the collector world. And the die clash mentioned earlier, typically caused when two dies strike each other without a planchette between them, created visible ghost impressions on both sides of the coin, giving it an eerie double-image appearance, while the mint mark anomaly on the D suggests that either the punch used for the mint mark was defective or that a manual repunching was done in error, something extremely rare in the modern era where mint marks are usually part of the master die. And what makes this case even more unusual is that such errors are virtually unheard of from the Denver Mint post-2000, as automated processes and digital controls have largely eliminated human interference. And yet here we have a coin that exhibits a level of manual tampering or irregularity that contradicts every expectation of modern minting standards, and if that weren't enough, the reverse of the coin, depicting the Lincoln Memorial, shows signs of doubling, a rare phenomenon known as double die where the die itself has misaligned during creation, causing repeated elements such as the columns and lettering to appear as shadows or duplicates, a highly collectible error in its own right, but combined with the other flaws on this penny, it contributes to the overall sense of rarity and intrigue, and as the numismatic community began to analyze and verify the coin's properties, offers began pouring in from private collectors and auction houses alike, all eager to possess what some were already calling the holy grail of modern American coinage. And after being submitted to top grading agencies such as PCGS and NGC, it received not only authentication but a near-perfect mint state grade, indicating that despite its errors, the coin had remained in pristine condition, free of wear, scratches, or handling damage that could have otherwise reduced its value, and soon, through a combination of verified appraisals, bidding wars among high-net-worth collectors, and the sheer uniqueness of the piece, its value skyrocketed to the now famous figure of $41 million, making it one of the most expensive coins ever recorded, and perhaps the most valuable modern penny in existence. And beyond its monetary worth, the coin has become something of a legend, a unicorn in the world of coin collecting that inspires awe, speculation, and a relentless drive among collectors to re-examine every 2003 AD penny they come across, hoping against all odds to find a twin or a cousin of the miraculous specimen. And though countless examples of 2003 AD pennies continue to circulate, with most valued at just a cent or slightly more if in uncirculated condition, none so far have matched the bizarre cocktail of errors and mysterious traits found in this singular piece, leading to theories that perhaps it was the result of an isolated machine glitch, a rogue mint employee, or even a misdirected coin blank meant for a classified purpose. And in a world where coins are mass-produced by the billions and quality control is relentlessly strict, the accidental creation of such a piece is statistically near impossible, which only adds to its mystique and allure. And for those wondering whether it's even possible to come across such a treasure in everyday life, the answer, while unlikely, is technically yes, as history has shown that incredible numismatic finds do sometimes slip through the cracks and land in the hands of ordinary people, turning an average coin jar into a potential goldmine. And experts advise collectors to pay special attention to the details, looking for unusual coloration, doubling in the images or text, strange weight differences, or especially any abnormalities in the mint mark, as these can be telltale signs of a high-value error. And while it's highly improbable that another $41 million coin exists exactly like the one we've discussed, the discovery of one means that others with similar features could potentially still be out there, waiting to be found, and that possibility continues to fuel a quiet frenzy among collectors and treasure hunters alike, all driven by the dream of holding a tiny piece of metal that defies the odds and rewrites the value of what we think of as pocket change. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just starting to look a little closer at the coins in your wallet, the story of the 2003 AD penny worth $41 million is a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary things come in the most unassuming packages, and with a little knowledge, a sharp eye, and perhaps a stroke of luck, you too could uncover a forgotten fortune. So keep looking, keep learning, and who knows, you might just be the next person to uncover a 1-cent wonder that changes your life forever.